tails head back, a better stack. Jack was up winner, it's Nat the cat. Unloading like a million tons of TNT. Yeah, that's me, you see. You wanna be with KMC, cause on the real, the science of the knowledge beyond you.
Hey! Welcome to Rock Ape Records. This is Mick here, the Ape, upstairs 175 Sturt Street, Townsville City. www.rockaperecords.com. Hey, remember these? The good old humble cassette. I'm doing a cassette special today because Retro Rock, who's one of our subscribers, and he messages all the time and he's real keen and stuff, and he saw all the cassettes that I've got behind me. I've got a holder here, it's behind this poster, a big clear holder. It's chock full of cassettes. I've got heaps more. There's another cabinet next to it full of cassettes. So I've always had a love of cassettes ever since I was a kid because they were always cheaper than records and they were more accessible. They were more easy to store. You could play them in the car. That was the main thing. You can't play a fucking record in the car. So today I'm doing a little bit of a special on the cassettes that we've got here at Rock Ape Records. And I just thought I'd hit this with me boombox. I'll move it out of the way now. So even these are becoming quite valuable. The old tape players with the CD in them, or just the tape decks themselves, boomboxes from the 80s and 90s, are actually fetching quite good money on eBay and stuff like that. So I've got a few. I sell them here, but they're not really, people aren't buying them because they are pretty expensive. So that was Ice-T OG. It wasn't him rapping then, it was one of his guests, but I remember blasting this. I used to drive around Sydney when I was in the army in a crappy green Celica, blasting this non-stop. So I'm not just into rock and metal, I'm a massive hip-hop fan too, especially gangster rap from the 90s. I loved it. Loved it. Shout out to Cliff, my mate from the army, because he's the one that got me into it, and my cousins in Canberra as well. But this is mainly 90s, 80s, 90s rock and metal here. So I'm just going to blast through these cassettes and just show them to you. So that's Quiet Riot. Boom, boom. I have to get them up close because they're smaller. So, Metal Health. Nice. I'm just going to blast through these because I've got tons. The Cult, Sonic Temple. I don't actually have these on the web store yet. You actually physically have to come in and buy them. Or you can message me and I can send you a list or whatever. This is awesome. Spinal Tap. These are all originals too. So these are originals from the 70s, 80s and 90s. So this is an original Australian Spinal Tap. So if you haven't seen Spinal Tap, the movie, it's really hilarious. And it's just a parody movie on the ridiculousness and overblown sort of things that were going on in the rock and metal world at the time. And they just did a parody on it. And it was brilliant. And the music's really good too. So yeah, good old Aussie, Diary of a Madman. Ugh. This is a lot harder, actually. This is a good little workout for me. Alice Cooper, Alice Goes to Hell. Nice. Some of these are also from America. I did buy a lot of cassettes back in the day from America. These are for sale in the shop too. I put them in these little plastic sleeves. It protects them a bit better. And that's the Headless Cross by Black Sabbath. And yeah, if you're ever buying cassettes or you're thinking of getting into it, just remember when you buy them to check inside that little bit there. There's a little foam pad and it's on like a little spring thing. If that's still there and it's spinning, you can spin it's probably going to be okay. They're pretty tough. They're not known for their sound quality cassettes, but all the kids are getting back. I've got teenagers that come in and are collecting cassettes. So that's nuts and the reason they are going up in value, not as much as records, but the reason they are going up in value is because so many people threw their cassettes out. So they're actually getting rarer and rarer. So Vinnie Vincent Invasion, awesome. Vinnie Vincent of Kiss fame. I think he did 1 or 2 albums with Kiss and then they kicked him out and he kept going for a bit and then he sort of disappeared into obscurity. The Cure, Entree, that's a live album there. So I've just got such a mixture of stuff in here. So I'm just going to go through them. No, there's an old Beatles one. Rock and Roll Music Volume 2. So I've got quite a few Beatles cassettes, but I don't have them here. They're actually still in the holder. I used to play the shit out of this. I used to love this EP. Anthrax, I'm the Man. And I remember when I had it, it had a red cassette. I wish I still had it. I don't think I've got one anymore. But yeah, I was a massive Anthrax fan when I was a teenager. Love them. Good old Warlock from Germany. What's this one called? Triumph and Agony. This is one of their most famous ones. I should know. Great record, that. Good old Warlock. Great cassette. I've got a neatly stacking behind me. Here's some clam stuff. These guys were cool. Dangerous Toys. Remember them? So it's very nostalgic looking at these cassettes as well. So this is Hellacious Acres, this one, from Dangerous Toys. And this is just the self-titled. They're a cool band. They were like hair metal, if you want to call it that. Cock rock, glam metal. Quite right again. Metal Health. I've got 2 copies of that. How cool is that? Oh, nice. Great white with hooked. It's actually in really nice condition, this one. Beautiful. They're another band like Roxy Music who always had hot chicks in their videos. They're a lot like, they remind me of Whitesnake. And I remember the lead guitarist always played like a pink BC Rich. And they were kind of old farts, even though, you know, it was the late 80s, early 90s. I always used to look at Great White and go, how old are these dudes? But they were still rocking, they were still pulling the chicks. Speaking of which, so was this dude, David Coverdale, with Whitesnake. So this is Snakebite on cassette. So, boom, boom. Bit of Whitesnake. Poison, look what the cat dragged in. My God. Great album. I still play this in my car. So, I still love Poison to this day. Here's another Whitesnake album. Come and get it. On cassette. So these are all originals from back in the Dizzo. It's probably no point me showing you the side of them because I'll probably just show you the front of them from now on. Dokken, back for the attack. There's Beast in the East, back for the attack. Good old Dokken, Don Dokken. Oh, nice. This is all Cairo. Rat, Invasion of Your Privacy. Beautiful. Kingdom Come, self-titled. These guys got signed by Gene Simmons. Well, he had something to do with them. He was trying to get them big. They never got that big. Pretty good tape art. It's a pretty good... Kingdom Come are pretty good. This thing here, I love this. My lovely wifey Tegan, she loves Alice Cooper. And this is probably one of the best albums that he brought out. It was like a return to form from him. I remember when this came out. Like, it was massive. It was just massive. Poison, Spark in the Dark, House of Fire, Better Nails, Trash. So yeah, and he was huge in the 70s, and then he sort of petered off. Constrictor and that were pretty big, but then when Trash came out, it was massive. All over again. He made a heap of cash all over. Firehouse, my God. There's a Firehouse cassette. Self-titled, I think that one is. Oh, I love this one. Cinderella with Long Cold Winter. Great album, this. So they were hair metal or whatever you want to call it. But they were from Texas. So they're always something different, old Cinderella. I really like them, and they were fucking great musicians. And I love Tom Kiefer from Cinderella. Love his voice. Holy shit, this one's an oldie. Inagata de Vida by Iron Butterfly. I remember my dad played me this when I was a kid. He said, you're going to love this one day, Inagata de Vida. I don't think I love it as much. Some of the other stuff he plays me I really love. But yeah, I like Inagata de Vida by Iron Butterfly. It's, basically, it can be said that that's the beginnings of heavy metal back in that era. They were playing like heavy stuff. So same as sort of Grand Funk Railroad and early Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. Here's a nice one. Rolling Stones, Steel Wheels. Nice. Original cassette. So sometimes they had the paper going all the way up and they just had holes in it. And sometimes on the back of them they were like that. But yeah, they couldn't really vary the packaging. There was no coloured vinyl. There was none of that sort of thing. There was pretty much no frills. And, you could go in and buy cassettes in Australia for under $10. So, records and CDs were $30 plus or whatever back then. So, maybe I'm sort of just thinking relative. Which one's this one? Condition Critical by Quiet Riot. An original one. So, is that around the right way? There you go. Beautiful. Condition Critical. Tesla. 5-man acoustical jam. So this was unplugged before it was probably the first ever unplugged by Tesla. Crocus, Change of Address. Nice. What does it say on it? Includes the hits Burning Up the Night, Let This Love Begin, and School's Out. So yeah, they were Germany's answer to the sort of, I don't know, I always sort of think they sound a bit like AC/DC. The lead singer sounds a bit like Bon Scott sometimes, but it's just hard rock. Good hard rock from Germany. Wasp, self-titled. So these things are just becoming super, super collectible nowadays. You know, how much street cred would you have if you go, I got it on tape. I got Wasp self-titled on tape. So yeah, another White Snake. I forget the title of this one. Trouble. They love the airbrush art, the old White Snake, don't they? Beautiful. This one's actually really hard to get. This is actually worth a bit of money, this one. So, Mondo Bizarro by the Ramones on cassette. These ones are getting really hard to get too nowadays, so that's cool. That's one of their later albums. It might have even been Acid Eaters and Mondo Bizarro. They were kind of their last albums. Britney Fox. Aren't they pretty? So, an original Britney Fox self-titled from, I think this one I got from America. So, nice. These guys were badass. I used to like this band, Vixen. So they were like a chick rock band in the early 90s, late 80s. If you have a look, it's got a motorbike on it. It's just bad. And a chick, I think she's sitting on it. Oh, it's not the full. See, on the records, when you get on vinyl, it has the full cover art. So this was the first, you know, these are the original thumbnails cassettes. They had to get what they could for the artwork onto it. This one's really good. Dio, Sacred Heart. Nice. Great album, that. So, I'm looking through these thinking I want to keep them, but I can't. I've got to sell them. Aerosmith, Rocks. I've actually got a kick-ass cassette collection, so I can't complain. I've got a lot of old school metal stuff on cassette, so one day I'll show off my collection. I'll bring them out here on the counter and show them off. Sammy Hagar. I think this one's self-titled. Of Van Halen fame. Good old Sammy Hagar. Oos. Nice. These are Aussies. A classic Australia. This album was awesome when it came out. The Angels, Beyond Salvation. I've got 2 copies of it. They look a bit different colours. So I think one's American, one's Australian. So this one's got the album art and stuff actually on the back of it. And that's like just got the traditional cassette type setup. So I've got 2 copies of Angels, Beyond Salvation. Awesome record, that one. Twisted Sister, Come Out and Play. Nice. This is a lot of fun. Grip Incorporated. So I remember this was Dave Lombardo from Slayer. It was one of his things. This is still sealed. This has still got a plastic seal on it. So it's The Power of Inner Strength by Grip Incorporated. And it's still sealed. So there you go. These 2. I remember getting these when I was in the army, these 2. Oh, they're stuck together, are they? It's basically Slayer, Decade of Aggression. And you could get it on cassette. Double cassette. And this is such a badass. Probably, I'm not that big on live albums, you know. I don't know. It's just something I've never. But this one, and Live After Death by Iron Maiden, love them. That was just kick ass. Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry, nice. Boom boom, love it. Good old Transvision Vamp from the UK with pop art. So this has got Trash City. There's got the huge single from them, I Want Your Love on it. So I think every teenage boy was in love with her. She was like the next incarnation of Blondie in the late 80s, early 90s. Wendy James from Transvision Vamp. They're a great band. They brought out a couple of great albums. This one's just, what's this one? Under the Blade by Twisted Sister. So sometimes you just can't tell what it is because the artwork is so different to the vinyl. So Under the Blade, yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh no, it's just because it's so much smaller. You're like, what one is that? Oh, I love this album. Practice What You Preach by Testament. Awesome. So what were these guys on? Atlantic. Nice. Practice What You Preach. Aerosmith, Permanent Vacation. Great record. It's got Ragdoll on it. What other songs has it got? Magic Touch. Dude Looks Like a Lady. So, Aerosmith. Love this record. Skid Row, Slave to the Grind. I don't know why I keep calling them records. It's a tape. All-time classic, Slave to the Grind by Skid Row. So yeah, look at this. I've got my price tag on it. It's $50. So I'm selling these for about 50 Australian dollars. So they've definitely gone up in value since when you first bought that. It probably would have been about $13. So nice. Black Sabbath, Live Evil. It's a great record. This is the Dio era Black Sabbath. Live Evil. And that's live, obviously, called Live Evil. Night at the Opera by Queen. This has Bohemian Rhapsody on it. So, come get it. Oh, good old Cherry Pie by Warrant. So, a lot of people come into my shop and laugh and go, oh, you've got Cherry Pie, blah, blah, blah. But I've sold a ton of these on vinyl, so, because they've reissued it. And they reissued it a couple of years ago. And this is actually a really good album. Apart, that single, everyone's fucking sick of it. But there's some really good songs on this. Uncle Tom's Cabin and I Saw Red. So, I don't know. I love Warrant. I don't care what people think. Good old Lita Ford. Oh my God. This is her self-titled album, Lita. Boom, boom. This got Kiss Me Deadly on it. Can't Catch Me. Yes. Come on, pretty baby. Kiss me deadly. That's my Eddie Vedder version of it. Oh, Man of War, Fighting the World on cassette. Beautiful. Here's Lita Ford again. What's this one called? Stiletto. Very, very nice. She's cool. Love Lita Ford. She's still going. I saw she... And there's another one. Oh my God. Dangerous Curves by Lita Ford. So there we go. We've got a trifecta of Lita Ford. Ugh. Get that up there so you can see it. And I saw something on Instagram probably about 6 months ago, and she still plays live. She still does the odd gig and stuff, so that's pretty cool. 1986. I remember this coming out. I think it was 1986. It might have even been before that. Ghostbusters. That was 1984. What am I thinking? I was in year 6 at school when this came out. Our Ghostbusters soundtrack. Ray Parker Jr. Who you gonna call? Who's this? Shark Island. Law of the Order by Shark Island. Never freaking heard of them. I'm going to have to play this later. I'm like, who the hell is Shark Island? Maybe someone can tell me in the comments who Shark Island is. Toys in the Attic by Aerosmith. Still one of their biggest selling albums. It's a great record. On cassette, we've got Toys in the Attic, Adam's Apple, Round and Round. What else has it got? It's got the original version of Walk This Way on it and Sweet Emotion. Toys in the Attic. This is Biohazard's original first self-titled album. So that's pretty cool. This is probably pretty rare. I haven't even looked this up. So yeah, good old Biohazard. Sort of kind of heavy rap rock type stuff. Cheap Trick. Dream Police. Great band, old Cheap Trick. I love that song. The Dream Police. And it's on Polystar, so that's Australian. Good old Polystar. Remember that label? Tone Loc. Loped After Dark with Funky Cold Medina. And it's got Wild Thing on it as well. This sold huge in Australia when it came out. It was a really big album. I loved it. Holy shit. Wasted in America by Love Hate. This was another underrated band. They were great, Love Hate. In the early 90s, late 80s. Boom, boom. Love Hate. This is an all-time classic. This is an original Australian Motley Crue Shout at the Devil. So, yeah, very, very nice copy of this one. On cassette, Shout at the Devil. Motley Crue. How are we going here? Shit, we're nearly at 20 minutes. I better hurry up. Ramones, Brain Drain. I'm pretty sure I'm selling this for $60, but I'm pretty sure this is worth even more than that. I'm tempted to keep this myself. There is just no Ramones tapes around. So, nice. Ozzy Osbourne. This is No Rest for the Wicked by Ozzy. Nice one. Pumping through here, pumping through. What else we got? Faith No More, Angel Dust. Awesomeness. I say awesome a lot. Too bad. Because I think everything's awesome. Especially these cassettes. Wow, this one just looks old. Judas Priest, Turbo. This would be an original. So, this would be an original from the 70s. I'd say this might be an American one. So, that's pretty awesome. Ugh. What else we got here? Oh, these ones here, I haven't actually got out for sale. They're basically, I sit them up there because I play these all the time. So, they're pretty much my personal ones, but I might put them up for sale. Machine Head, Burn My Eyes on Roadrunner Records. I've got a heap of metal, so this is probably a double. So I might even put them up for sale. Black Crowes, Shake Your Money Maker. Absolute classic. This is their first album. Still, I reckon, is their best album. I love Shake Your Money Maker. This is the stuff I play on cassette in the shop all the time. Peter Tosh, Legalize It. Beautiful. Original cassette. In really good nick too, that one. Alright, here's a great Aussie band. The Cruel Sea, The Honeymoon Is Over. So, that was so awesome. These are actually my cassettes. I remember I had this in my car non-stop. This album and this album by The Cruel Sea called Three-Legged Dog. So, Tex Perkins, he was in, the lead singer of this band, he was in a band called The Beast Suburban. Later on, he went and did The Cruel Sea, and they were massive in the 90s in Australia, and deservedly so. They're fucking great. If you've never heard The Cruel Sea, and you're watching from somewhere overseas, and you're like, The Cruel Sea, who the fuck are they? Listen to them. Awesome Australian rock. I've got some singles here. So, these used to be about $4 or $5 in Australia back in the day, and when you're a broke-ass teenager and you wanted to get something, you could get Motley Crue, and you'd get Dr. Feelgood, with the B-side on it. So they were singles. So they had like 2 songs and they'd be on each side. So you'd have, this one's got Dr. Feelgood and Sticky Sweet. And then on the other side, Dr. Feelgood and Sticky Sweet. So you'd basically play it, flip it, play it, flip it. So that's how you'd get to know all the words. He's the one to call Dr. Feelgood. They're cool. They were in a little cardboard sort of thing. So and they were only really cheap. And I remember this one as well. This was mine. Tattooed Millionaire by Bruce Dickinson. So sometimes they came in a hard case as well, and they usually were coloured like this, and they only had 2 songs on them. So the single, and they were exactly the same on each side of the cassette. I just thought I'd show you those. That they were a thing too. The single, Motley Crue, self-titled, such an underrated record. This is a great record. I reckon Motley Crue fucked up by getting rid of John Corabi. So John Corabi sang on this record, and it was just really good. It was really dark and just rocking, and it was badass. And then they got Vince Neil back, and the albums after that they've been okay, but I don't know. I just sort of always think what could have been if Motley Crue had kept going with this guy as their singer, like, because this album is fucking great. Motley Crue self-titled with John Corabi singing. This is pretty cool. Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. So yeah, they did soundtracks. I don't have many soundtracks on cassette, but yeah, this one's cool. This has got heaps of good songs on it, and I can't even read them. It's so small, and my eyes are shit. But yeah, they usually had lots of rock and metal, cheesy songs on all the Freddy movies. So this is one of my all-time favourite albums. LA Guns, self-titled. Wicked. Show No Mercy, Sex Action. Tracy Guns, and this sort of Guns N' Roses split from LA Guns, and yeah, so Axl Rose used to be with these dudes, it was all incestuous. LA Guns kept going. Guns N' Roses got a whole lot bigger, but LA Guns are a fucking great band, really great. Speaking of Guns N' Roses, here's an original Australian copy of GNR Lies by Guns N' Roses. So that's pretty cool. Boom, boom. It's got a hype sticker on it. 4 new songs. Contains language which might be unsuitable. Well, that's just how to sell more records. Put a sticker like that on it, you dickheads. Another copy of Manowar, Fighting the World. I won't believe that. Another copy of Anthrax, I'm the Man. You can tell I won't actually mix them up. They're not supposed to be there. All right. Black Sabbath, Greatest Hits. This is a bit of an obscure one. On vinyl, this one's worth a little bit of money these days. Because just because it is, because it's not super popular, or it wasn't printed so much. So yeah, Black Sabbath greatest hits, nice. Living Colour, Vivid, great record. Cult of Personality, I still love that song. And Corey Glover, the lead singer, he was actually quite a good actor. He was in the movie Platoon. And he did another few movies, and he ended up being a pretty good actor. I like Corey Glover, and I like how he sings. They're not really doing much these days, I don't think, Living Colour. But back in the days, they were really popular. I was a big fan of Living Colour. I used to like Living Colour and Fishbone. This is a great... I used to play the shit out of this when I was a teenager. James Rain, self-titled. He was the lead singer at Aussie Crawl. Has a great voice. I always liked James Rain. I just thought I'd show you that. That's in there too. These ones here. This one's the Cosmic Psychos. These are Australian punk band. Loudmouth Soup. And that's about it. This record here, this is the Hard-Ons, Ripper 23. These are brand new. So now, I was going to mention it, that bands are actually bringing out cassettes. So it's now a medium. You'll see, so something like Linkin Park's latest Greatest Hits album, you can also get it on cassette. This is the latest Kerry King album. You can get it on cassette. So I've got quite a few cassettes here as well from the the latest metal stuff. So it's pretty cool that they're doing it. This is Sleep, Dope Smoker on cassette. It's on green cassette. So it's another sort of thing that they're marketing nowadays, all these bands. They're bringing their stuff out on cassette. And here's the biggest marketing band. These guys have overtaken Kiss as far as marketing goes. And it's Metallica. And they're even bringing stuff out on cassette. So this is brand new, sealed, $5.98 EP Garage Days. So you can get that brand new nowadays on cassette. So, and this is a brand new Dismember. What one is it? Massive Killing Capacity. So these are brand new and sealed, and I'm selling them in the shop too. So that's the thing. It's like, it's back. It's not going anywhere. And if you get onto Bandcamp and things like that, most new bands, especially punk bands and metal bands and that in Australia, are releasing cassettes. Sometimes even cassettes with they're not even releasing CDs. They're releasing cassettes. So they're back. They never went anywhere. They're like records. The resurgence is nowhere near the vinyl resurgence. But it's been really fun to show you a heap of cassettes because I fucking love this medium. I love all mediums of music. I'm not a snob. So I'll listen to cassette. I'll listen to Spotify. I don't give a shit. A lot of the time in the shop, I play Spotify all day because it's easier than playing vinyl all day when I'm trying to deal with customers. Plus, a lot of my records are sealed. So if a customer wants to hear a record, I'll play it on Spotify. But yeah, cassettes, that's it. That's my cassette special. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're enjoying all these videos. This is a pretty long one, so only the nerds are probably still here watching, so good on yous. Thanks to Retro Rock for giving me the idea. I'm like, oh yeah, I should do me cassettes. Because I'm a huge fan of cassettes as well. I'm a huge fan of everything retro. You know, nothing sells like nostalgia. And yeah, I've always had a love of cassettes. So glad to share these ones with you. One day I'll do one with all my cassettes from my metal collection. So I'll show you all my metal cassettes that I've got. But if you're liking these videos, can you give me a thumbs up? Can you please subscribe if you haven't as yet? Just click the subscribe button. It's not a big deal. It helps heaps. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're well on our way. We're just about at 500. So we're nearly halfway. So thanks to everyone who's subscribed and all the messages of support and saying you like the videos and shit. That's why I do it. I'm doing this anyway, so I may as well film it. So awesome. There's a heap of unboxings to come in the next few weeks. So I'll be doing plenty of other videos. So yeah, keep an eye out and thank you and rock on. Woo!